Welcome to the channel. Today it is our 33rd video on the painting defects, their causes and countermeasures. And we shall be talking about one very important defect, and that is poor opacity. We shall discuss poor opacity definition through its photograph, its technical definition, why it happens and why it is important, causes and countermeasures, repair method, and finally, introduction to the next topic. Poor opacity refers to insufficient hiding power or poor coverage of the paint film where the underlying surface, base coat, primer, body filler, or previous color remain visible through the top coats, even after application and drying. It is one of the most important appearance defects because it directly affects color uniformity and finish quality. It can be technically defined as a defect where the top coat fails to adequately conceal the substrate or under layers due to insufficient pigment coverage, low hiding power, or improper application, resulting in visible patches, color variation, or show-through areas on the painted surface. Why it happens? It is because of the low hiding power of the paint, that is, poor pigment quality or low titanium oxide content in case the pigment is titanium oxide. The second important thing could be incorrect mixing ratio, that is over thinning with reducer. तीसरी वजूहत क्या हो सकती हैं? Insufficient number of coats applied. Number 4, inconsistent spray technique leading to uneven film build. Wrong color selection, e.g. painting light color over dark without proper undercoat. Using cheaper or counterfeit paint materials. It is important because it leads to color mismatch and an unprofessional finish. It requires rework, increasing material and labor cost. It reduces perceived quality of automobiles, motorcycles, and scooters. It affects brand reputation and customer satisfaction. Regarding its typical appearance, it is lighter areas over edges, corners and curves, patchy finishes, dark spot under light covers in case of white, silver, yellow are the most sensitive. Coming to the causes and a countermeasure. The number one cause could be insufficient stirring oblique mixing. That is, paint not stirred thoroughly before spraying. The pigments like titanium oxide and colorants settle at the bottom. Inadequate mixing reduces hiding power. And the countermeasure recommended is stir paint thoroughly to fully disperse pigments so that we can obtain good hiding and a proper coverage. Use mechanical agitator if required. The second important reason could be over-thinning, that is, excessive reducer added, lower paint viscosity beyond specifications. As you know, over-thinning increases transparency and reduces film build, making the undercoat visible. Therefore, follow manufacturer's thinning ratio. Use viscosity cup to ensure correct flow time. तीसरी वजह क्या हो सकती है जी? It is poor quality or wrong thinner. That is, cheap or inappropriate thinner used. Wrong solvent blend effects, pigment dispersions, thus hiding power causes weak coverage and shade variation. Therefore, use only recommended high quality compatible thinner. चौथी वजह, insufficient film build. Too few coats or excessively thin coats applied. In this case, low dry film thickness cannot physically hide the primer or substrate shade underneath. Therefore, apply correct number of coats. Ensure uniform wet film thickness. पांचवी वजह क्या हो सकती है जी? Wrong undercoat color. Dark undercoat used under light top coat. Here, there is a mismatch between undercoat shade and a top coat. It reduces hiding efficiency, causing patchy appearances. Therefore, use a recommended undercoat shade, for example, white gray scale primers. Number 6 probable cause could be low quality paint, that is, low pigment content. Paint with insufficient titanium oxide or weak color pigments. Poor hiding power due to inadequate opacity, reducing pigments. Here, titanium oxide is the most important white pigment in paint because it provides high opacity, hiding power. It covers the surface with a minimum coats. Brightness and whiteness, it gives clean, bright, high quality finish. Regarding UV protection, it protects the paint film from sunlight degradation. Durability, it improves weather resistance and longevity of the automotive coatings. So in this case, the recommended countermeasure is use high quality OEM specified paint, verify supplier batch quality. The seventh important reason could be incorrect thinner speed. Incorrect, incorrect thinner speed. That is, use of excessively slow thinner. Slow thinner keeps the film wet too long, causing sag risk. Painter applies thin layer, resulting in poor opacity. Therefore, use correct thinner grade recommended for temperature and job size. Eighth probable reason regarding poor opacity of the paint could be poor spray technique. That is, uneven overlap, inconsistent gun distance, or improper speed. All of these lead to streaks and patchy coverage, allowing the substrate to show through. Therefore, we recommend consistent spray distance, overlap of about 50%, and gun movement speed. The ninth probable reason could be incorrect nozzle size or low atomization. Using smaller nozzle or low air pressure, in this case, poor atomization reduces film build and causes transparent layers. Therefore, it is recommended for you to use nozzle size to correct nozzle size and correct spray pressure as per recommendations. The 10th important cause could be inadequate flash of time between coats. Applying coats without proper flash of time, that is, wet on wet film, may compress or sag, creating thin or transparent areas. Therefore, allow proper flash of time as per technical data sheet. Coming to the repair method in case of poor opacity, there are two situations. That is, number one, if detected during application. In that case, allow the coat to flash off properly, then apply additional uniform coats until the correct opacity and film build are achieved. In the second case, if the paint has already fully dried and hardened, so in this case, allow the film to cure completely. Wet sand the surface with appropriate grit to level and to remove transparency or patchiness. Clean the surface thoroughly and reapply the top coat to achieve full hiding power. With this, we conclude our today's discussion on the subject of paint effect poor opacity. Our next topic on the subject of paint defects and countermeasure would be popping. In the meanwhile, stay tuned and don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe button to receive the similar contents in future too. Thank you and thank you very much.